Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my ongoing investigation explanation into the Bhagavad Gita. We are currently at the third adhyay and the 33rd shlok, where we are making our way through the Karma Yoga. I would strongly advise you guys to watch the earlier series, so that this video makes some level of sense and context. And as always, please continue to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. A lot of you guys watch but don't subscribe, so please, please, please subscribe to our channel. Sadrushyam, without further ado, the 33rd slok, third adhyaya of the Bhagavad Gita. सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्यां प्रकृतेज्ञा न वानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति. That is, every man of knowledge acts according to his own nature. For everyone follows the nature he has acquired from three modes. What can repression accomplish? So, what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying, that because we are constituted a certain way, we are compelled to act in certain ways. So, what, like, to completely try to repress and dismiss our desires, our thoughts and feelings is not a viable alternative. So, what can we do? इंद्रिय इंद्रियस्ये इंद्रिय इस्यार्थे राग द्वेषो व्यवस्थितौ तयेर्न वशम वशमागच्छ गच्छेतौ ह्यास्य परिपन्थनो. That is, there are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self realization. So, what is Bhagavan Shri Krishna trying to say? What he's trying to say is, yes, you will feel a desire in this world. Yes, you might even feel temptation and all kinds of things. However, the problem arises when you become excessively entangled with this world, when you become attached excessively, and when you cannot divorce yourself from this attachment. So, this is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is telling us to avoid. This brings me to one of my favorite quotes of the Bhagavad Gita. Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharmo paradharman swanushthit swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. That is, it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duty, even though faultily, than another one's duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. For to follow another's path is dangerous. So again and again, Bhagavad Gita, what distinguishes Bhagavad Gita from all other religious books is that again and again there is an emphasis that do essentially your own thing, but not exactly. So, what the Bhagavad Gita is trying to do is lay this overarching moral and ethical framework, and they're saying within this ethical and moral framework, you follow your own path. Right? So obviously, don't kill other people, don't rape, don't whatever. But once you are obeying the basic principles of dharma, then you within this framework, please, you should follow your own path. And this is such a beautiful thing to say, that it is better to that there are your own duties, that your own path is always manifests itself to you, and even if you fail when you're following the path that your own heart and your own conscience want you to follow, if you fail, it's okay. It is better to fail at your own path rather than succeed at someone else's path, which is such a profound quote, and this was written more than 5,000 years back. And it is said that he even says destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another one's duty. For to follow another's path is dangerous. And like when I think about what the Nazis did, or what the horrible atrocities that communists did, or what Pol Pot in Cambodia, or so many times people come under the sway of other people, that they know something is wrong, but they just suspend their logical cognitive thought process. They stop listening to their own conscience, and yeah, they just follow orders. Like, how many atrocities in human history have been created and performed by men who were just following orders? It has led to so much horrible tragedy in this world. And that is what Bhagwan Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna, that you should follow your own path. And this world will often judge you. This world will say, "Oh, you're doing this. You're a failure. Oh, you're not pursuing your career like a madman. You're a failure. You're this. You're that." But you just have to look deep within your own soul and your own conscience. And as long as your own conscience is not bothering you, it's okay. It's okay. Let the world say whatever it wants. अर्जुन उवाच अथ केन प्रयुक्तोऽयं पापं चर चरति पुरुषः अचित् अनिच्छन्नपि वा- वा- वाष्णे वाष्णेर्य बलादिव नियोजितः. That is Varshnaya. Okay. Arjun said, "O descendant of Vrishni, what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force?" So, often in life we find ourselves doing something where in the moment of anger we just sometimes, can happen that we're just there's an explosion of rage in our brain and we just do something like hit someone or something, and then we end up regretting it, like what did I just do? And it often happens to a lot of people where they are not able to control their temper, or they perform all kinds of sometimes evil acts, and they're like, I can't believe I did this. It's almost as if they're possessed by a spirit or something like this. I'm not saying the spirits literally possess men to do bad things. I think men are good and bad all on their own, but this is a profound question that Arjun is asking. And Krishna said, uh, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samubdhavaha Mahashano Mahapapampa Vidhayenamiha Vairinama. That is, this Bhagavan Shri Krishna said, it is lust only, Arjun, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, which is an all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. So again and again, what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying is that, at, like loving things, or like enjoying even the pleasures of life is not bad, but excessive attachment, excessively entangled with someone, that is what is bad. Like for example, there's nothing wrong with loving a woman and pursuing her for a relationship or something like this. But what distinguishes a good man from a creepy stalker? The stalker gets obsessed with the woman. The stalker gets completely attached. And when he's attached to the woman to that extent that he's not able to recognize that she's just not interested in him, and instead of just leaving her at peace and finding someone else who loves him, he'll just obsess over this girl and pursue her very aggressively and do all kinds of evil things along the way. And often this is what happens, or some man who gets so obsessed with money, like more money, more money, more money. And in doing this, he completely perverts his own mind and is willing to take a bribe and do all kinds of crazy shortcuts just to earn more money. And so, this excessive attachment to a woman and excessive attachment to sensuality or excessive attachment to money is what perverts the mind. So, engage in pleasures in life, but always remember there is something transcendent beyond all of this. ध धूमे धूमे न व्रियते वही वह्निर् यथा दर्शो मलेन च यथो बेनावरतो गर्भस्तथा तेनेदम आवर्तम. As fire is covered by snow, and as a mirror is covered by dust, or as an embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of this lust. And this is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying, that to some extent, all of us succumb to lust sometimes in this world. All of us, as we go through this world, we are seduced by this world, and we often become entangled in this world and attached. And according to Bhagavan Shri Krishna, every living being is feels this emotion to some extent or other. I suppose learned men feel it to a lesser extent, and when you're ready to attain moksha, you're completely free of this attachment. आवृतम ज्ञानमेतन ज्ञानिनो नित्य वैरिणा काम रूपेण kaunteya dushpurena nalena chaha. That is, thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. And I think this phrase is pretty self-explanatory, so focus on the pure consciousness, focus on, like, your thoughts appear in your consciousness. So instead of focusing on your thoughts, focus on the consciousness, and that is the way to become free of this lust that we all as human beings grapple with. इंद्रियाणि मनो बुद्धिरस्याधिष्ठान मुच्यते अतैर्विमोह मोहयत्येष ज्ञानमावृत्य देहिनम्. That is, the senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. So, this is what it means to be bewitched by one's senses. So the senses and the mind, and sometimes even our cognitive processing abilities, they sometimes keep us from the transcendental truths, because they are sometimes the source of this unholy lust. तस्मात् त्वमिन्द्रियाण्यादौ नियम्य भरतर्षभ पापानं प्रजहि योनं ज्ञानविज्ञाननाशनम्. That is, therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning, curb this great symbol of sin by regulating the senses, and thus slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. So, what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying is that because you have this tendency towards lust, you should regulate your senses. What does that mean? Don't shut your senses, but know that your senses is just one pathway through which information is being fed into your consciousness. And so, to regulate one's senses, that is what this means. So, for example, you find your favorite dish in the world, right? And you take one taste, and you just are unable to stop at one, and you just want to eat more and more and more. What is happening there? It's great to taste things, it's great even to enjoy things, but the moment you're like, I can't stop eating, that's when it's a problem. So this is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna means by regulating one's senses. इंद्रियाणि पराण्याह्युरीन्द्रियेभ्यः परं मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिर्यो बुद्धे परतस्तु सह. The working senses are superior to dull matter, and mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is higher than the mind, and the soul, is even higher than intelligence. So what they're saying is that Bhagavan Shri Krishna is talking about the hierarchy. What is the most superior? And what he's saying is that, okay, your senses are just the points through which data is fed into your consciousness. And what is superior to that? Your mind, your consciousness. What is still higher to that is intelligence. Intelligence in this case doesn't necessarily only mean, your cognitive processing capacity. It means wisdom, and wisdom, your ability to know the true nature of your own consciousness, your ability to know the true nature of your own senses, that is higher than this. And the soul, right? The Atma, that indefinable, that transcendent thing within us, which is a little part of Paramatma, that is the highest. एवं बुद्धे परम बुद्धत्वः संस्तभ्यात्मा नमात्माना जहि शत्रुम महाबाहो कामरूपम durasana. That is, thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjun, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So with this, I bring to conclusion the third adhyaya of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It has been great that you guys have joined with me in this channel. Please support me in this journey. Please let me know what you guys think about it. And like, share, and subscribe. And until then, Jai Shri Krishna.